where Colin was wrong.
Well, my portfolio has never had a lot of Jaguar stock, but this is the best Trevor Lawrence has ever been. Quarterback, coach, run game, and they get good pressure, although they don't have a ton of sacks. They're legitimate. Liam Cohen is clever. He's intense. He's brought a serious nature. There's not a lot. I mean, if you were doubting how good they were, go back to what they did to the Chargers. Totally dismantled them. Or the Broncos. They went to Denver, completely dominated them. This may be, outside of Seattle, the best team in the NFL in Jacksonville.
Absolutely. The Jacksonville Jaguars may very well rank among the NFL's elite squads at this moment. I am thoroughly energized and brimming with anticipation. I am poised to execute my formal celebratory acknowledgement regarding the Jacksonville Jaguars. Our journey encountered a few divergent paths initially. I was not entirely enamored with their early season performances. Head coach Liam Cohen expressed similar sentiments. His words, not mine. It appears the coach and I are in lockstep alignment. Entering this campaign, I expressed, somewhat ironically, a distinct lack of trust in the Houston Texans. I conveyed dissatisfaction with their overall direction. Credit to them, they devised a successful formula. However, my preseason inclination favored the Jaguars within the AFC South landscape, with the Indianapolis Colts also warranting consideration, though I lacked absolute conviction to proclaim it boldly. I experienced genuine disappointment when Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen found early success because I had not voiced my Jaguar support with unequivocal confidence. A true victory lap requires preceding certainty. What I did assert with conviction was that Liam Cohen would achieve remarkable outcomes with Trevor Lawrence. As the season progressed, however, that proclamation felt premature because I remained unimpressed by their on-field product. Yes, they secured victories, but the aesthetic and execution left me wanting. My foundational thesis remained steadfast. Trevor Lawrence would demonstrate tangible improvement, while Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would regress. This projection was rooted in Liam Cohen's developmental trajectory with his quarterback, facilitating a significant leap in performance. That projection has materialized precisely. I am relentlessly advocating for Jacksonville Jaguars discourse. My commitment is unwavering. The fact that prominent coverage often relegates them to a brief right-wrong segment is insufficient. They merit dedicated front-and-center analysis for their seasonal accomplishments, which are genuinely impressive. The achievements of Sean Payton, Ben Johnson, and Mike Vrabel are equally commendable. Multiple narratives can coexist impressively. That is the NFL's beauty. However, we are categorically under-discussing Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence, and this Jaguars collective. This is why I continually emphasize viewer engagement. When you watch videos in their entirety and subscribe concurrently, it catalyzes exponential growth in viewership and community expansion. My objective transcends mere metric accumulation. It is about crafting Jaguars-focused content that audiences genuinely desire to consume, interact with, and debate, thereby fostering substantive, unbiased, and grounded football dialogue. We aim to cultivate a community firmly established within the sports commentary ecosystem, where Jaguars analysis is consistently accessible and eagerly anticipated. The Jaguars fan base has increasingly mobilized, particularly following direct appeals for engagement. This support simplifies and enriches the content creation process. The team's record stands at an imposing 13-4, positioning them among the league's upper echelon. What additional validation is required? They were positioned to contend for the top playoff seed. A slightly more cohesive start to the season might have secured that accolade. As I elaborated regarding the Denver Broncos, the era of unchallenged Kansas City Chiefs dominance has concluded. The league has collectively elevated. Within the AFC West, the resurgence of the Broncos and Chargers has reconfigured the landscape. Similarly, the Jacksonville Jaguars, under Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence, represent a formidable new force. In prior years, the Chiefs would have routinely dispatched such divisional opponents, accumulating victories effortlessly, perhaps securing a top seed with relative ease. The distinguishing factor now is not solely any perceived decline in Kansas City, but the authentic rise of these rival franchises. Even as the Chiefs potentially rebound with a healthy Patrick Mahomes, the Jaguars' message is clear. That's commendable, but this is a new reality. We are legitimate. Jacksonville possesses its foundational coach-quarterback partnership for the foreseeable future, prepared to compete at the highest level. Witnessing this evolution is profoundly exhilarating. Advancing into the postseason under these circumstances is a monumental achievement. I genuinely possess no definitive forecast for how this playoff run will transpire. This uncertainty generates considerable anxiety, particularly regarding a potential matchup with the Buffalo Bills. I harbor an immense belief in Josh Allen's capabilities. I regard him as the premier quarterback in the NFL. Consequently, he represents the ultimate postseason wildcard. While I believe the Jaguars field the superior overall team, an elite quarterback can singularly neutralize such an advantage. This impending confrontation is utterly captivating. The inevitable frustration is that one team must advance while the other faces elimination. The losing side will undoubtedly face reductive narratives. Aha, the Jaguars were fraudulent. Or, see, Josh Allen and the Bills cannot win the big one. Should Allen fall, questions about his legacy will surface unfairly. The reality is a loss to an elite opponent. Should Lawrence and Cohen succumb to Buffalo, it would not constitute a seasonal failure. It would signify defeat by arguably the league's best quarterback, a potential all-time great. That is simply the nature of competition. Therefore, I refuse to engage in pre-game narrative fabrication. The focus must remain on the game's unfolding dynamics, individual performances, and strategic execution. This matchup simultaneously excites and stresses me. I attempted to mentally calculate ideal playoff brackets, but the exercise proved futile. Presently, I find myself influenced by a familial voice of compassion, wishing success for numerous teams. I desire victories for the Texans, Jaguars, Bills, Chargers, Patriots, and Broncos. These squads have all earned, at minimum, a playoff triumph. The accomplishments of the Texans, Steelers, and the Broncos' ascent to the top seed command profound respect. I am also fascinated to observe the emergent fan dynamics. I possess intimate familiarity with the interactions between Chiefs, Ravens, and Bills partisans, the debates between Mahomes and Allen advocates. I have been entrenched in those frontline discussions. Now I anticipate witnessing the novel interactions between Bills and Jaguars supporters, among other new rivalries. These moments reveal a fan base's self-perception and its comprehension of the league's broader context. Some misinterpret my analytical stance as trolling, particularly regarding fan bases like the Dallas Cowboys or Kansas City Chiefs. This is inaccurate. I do not engage in deliberate provocation or sensationalism. However, I commit to candid analysis. When I employ terms like delusional, it is a descriptive, not a derogatory, assessment. For instance, certain segments of the Chiefs fan base operated under a belief in perpetual, unchallenged dominance, a belief fundamentally at odds with competitive sports nature. Similarly, persistent narratives surrounding the Cowboys' imminent championship contention, despite a 30-year NFC Championship game absence, or excuses for Dak Prescott's playoff performances generate palpable confusion. This observation does not invalidate fandom or passion. I adore the intensity, the excitement, and the engaged discourse. Not every fan base exhibits this level of vibrant participation. I cherish when supporters actively engage. However, I remain keenly interested in the substance and tenor of their contributions when they do. This understanding is crucial because I strive to address my audience directly. When I produce Jaguars content, I am speaking to Jaguar supporters. When I create Eagles material, my dialogue is with their fan base. I read the commentary to grasp prevailing sentiments. Occasionally, individuals question the origin of cited opinions, to which I respond, the source is the viewership itself, via the comments I actively review. The objective is shared engagement on pertinent topics. We shall observe where this postseason leads. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, this season represents monumental success. In Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence's inaugural collaboration, they have established themselves as a legitimate, elite NFL entity, entering the playoffs performing at an optimal level. The stage is set. I eagerly await your perspectives. I read every single comment. Whether you concur or dissent, let's engage in dialogue. Let's have passionate debates. But ultimately, let's enjoy the exchange. Please consider subscribing. We are cultivating a phenomenal community here and would be delighted for you to participate. I aim to construct something we all feel a genuine connection to. something we are authentically excited to be part of. I believe we are making significant progress toward that goal. Please also remember to approve this video. It genuinely enhances visibility and assists the platform's algorithm. Thank you immensely. Until next time. Until next.